But yeah, you really hit on everything. I totally agree. I was really happy with being able to just watch the trailer and get an idea of what this campaign is about.
This is the time of the year for Call of Duty leaks and stuff. Again, every year, we're always careful now, especially, but if you're just a Call of Duty fan, I don't think anyone is going to be like, no, I'm done with this. You're going to get a little bit excited. It's a new game. You're getting something new. And after playing the last game, grinding it out, there's going to be a different challenge now coming.
Every year, I fall for this. I'm going to be smiling the entire time because I'm always just like, oh, shit, I don't know. Maybe this is the year. Maybe they finally figure it out. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 276 of the COD Casuals podcast. We're your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
Justin, I got to ask, how we doing today, bro?
I'm doing pretty good. We got a lot of news to talk about today. The weather is great. Just talk about the weather more.
We're going to talk about the weather for the next 25 minutes right now. We're not going to get into the news. Dude.
There's no news.
And we were talking about this a little bit on the phone because you called me since we're recording a little bit later in the week, normally on Monday, but now it's Thursday, the 28th, which in retrospect was a good move because we had plans on Memorial Day, which we hope everybody celebrated. And now we just ended up on Thursday. And I texted you this morning being like, I think there's going to be some news. I hope it just happens before we record. And yeah, it did. We finally got the trailer. You hadn't watched it yet until getting back. And I haven't even asked you about it. Like, we didn't talk at all before recording. So I got to ask right off the rip, what do you think about the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, let's set the stage. This is the Modern Warfare 4 campaign trailer, not multiplayer, but I did watch it. I watched it while I ate dinner. It looks pretty good. Like, it looks solid. Not that graphics I really care too much, especially in Call of Duty, but I don't know. It's more Infinity Ward games, but it gives me the vibe of, like you said, the older Modern Warfare, like the coloring, like MW3, which I'd imagine that means that they're going to more of like a darker, style, edgy style in the campaign. And I mean, for people that haven't watched it, go watch it. But it's clear that this takes place in South Korea, and I don't know if the American soldier that you are is a main character or not, but at least in the trailer, there's an American soldier. You're with a bunch of South Korean soldiers, and the North Koreans invade, which love that concept. Again, it looks cool. I like the modern aesthetic versus the old World War II like days, but the campaign overall, I liked it. I liked how they showed a bit of the cutscenes where it's dark. I can tell the campaign, it looks more linear compared to like what we played in Black Ops 7. So overall, yeah. I don't want to get too amped, obviously, because the past couple of years, you and I have been, well, not just us, literally every single Call of Duty person is like, this is a year. But, we hesitate a little bit. But I do like what I saw.
Yeah, I agree too. And especially coming off of the back of like the worst campaign that has ever existed in Call of Duty. And it really just seemed like, especially coming from Treyarch, that if they're going to treat it this way, I had the feeling that there's no way any of these other developers are really going to be, changing course, because Treyarch has always been the one that cared. And when they drop the ball, I feel like everybody does. So my hopes going into this were very low. But yeah, you really hit on everything. Like, I totally agree. I was really happy with being able to just watch the trailer and get an idea of what this campaign is about. Just off rip, it was easy to understand and follow the plot. And I like that because with Black Ops 7, I mean, there really was none. Like, it made absolutely no sense. Black Ops 6's was okay. And then, MW2 and MW3, I mean, those campaigns to me are just kind of whatever campaigns. And then MW3's ending is horrible. So there's been a really consistent track record here of the campaigns being terrible. This seems to be a return to form just from the trailer. And again, I don't want to, we can't get too hyped, but I saw someone posted it on Twitter, which I thought was it's true, and I know you're probably the same. It's like every fucking year I fall for this every year. Like,
We're
I'm gonna
just
be
sheep,
smiling the
man.
entire time because I'm always just like, "Oh shit, I don't know. Maybe this is the year. Maybe they
Mhm.
finally figure it out." Um, and from the campaign side, it looks like uh they're they're not going to be continuing with the nonsense that happened with Treyarch. And graphically, it looks really good, which is kind of not really surprising. I think graphics are just always going to be getting better and better, but it's not really like the main metric you want to be basing it off of. But
Mhm.
overall, yeah, I'm excited from it.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I hope they learned from Modern Warfare 3 because that was a lot. I know Sledgehammer, I believe, worked on that game, but that had a horrible campaign.
Yeah,
Awful. The ending just ruined everything. So I'm hoping they learn from that and Infinity Ward's like, okay, you know what? We got a lot of bad comments from this campaign. Let's go rework this and fix it and go back to, what a COD campaign really is. So just give me war, give me action, give me some dark, edgy stuff, and good Call of Duty campaign. I hope there's no open world DMZ stuff, which they did say at the end that we will get a DMZ announcement, a brand new DMZ announcement on June 7th. So I know some people are hyped about that, but at the end of the day, you and I were campaign
yeah,
multiplayer. We're just like we're old heads. But
yeah,
that's not to say that I think the DMZ game mode would be really cool in Call of Duty if it is like executed really well. Um, where I think DMZ in this game, I mean, I've only heard positive things about it, to be completely honest. I mean, join the Discord if you want to talk about it, because there are definitely people in the Discord, they play it and they told us to give it a shot. We've never gave it a real shot because that's just not our thing. We don't care for those like extraction game
yeah.
modes where I don't. It's weird. We like to grind specific like tasks and objectives in games, but DMZ, I don't know why. Just maybe because Call of Duty in my head is always fast paced, quick games and multiplayer and the campaign. Not I have to go sit and grind and like loot a bunch of stuff for hours and then like you know we evacuate the zone.
Yeah, it's just not the COD that we grew up on, you
Yeah.
know? And I think Call of Duty is always going to be what it originally was, which was just loading into 6v6 maps, and that's pretty much it. I mean, when I see some of the other stuff that they've added in there, like 10v10 or whatever, or these huge, Battlefield-esque modes, like I'll never play those. Even though it is still the same kind of thing, you have one team and another team, and you're just killing each other or playing for an objective. COD to me is always going to be 6v6 or it's going to be ranked, which is 4v4. And yeah, the campaign is just kind of like a tradition with any COD. So yeah, I'm not going to be playing that much, but it could definitely bring in people if it's taken care of properly and it's maintained. I think it could definitely be a nice addition to what COD has right now. Um, I'd also say too, going back on the campaign quickly, the thing that I also liked about it, and I know some of the previous CODs had this, where like the original ones, they used to have multiple stories, mainly two storylines that you would follow, like different factions. Like I think a COD 4, you'd have like the SAS group, which are like Price and all of them, and then you had like the Marines fighting in two different things, but they kind of came together at the end. Um, with the people that are in South Korea, like with that whole side going on, and then they showed Price, and I think if I remember correctly, they're calling him like Dark Price or
Mhm.
some shit. He just seems like he's gone rogue and he's just trying to take matters into his own hands and clean things up. And I guess this is after the events of MW3 where he kills Shepard. So he's a wanted person. Um, I think that's cool. I like seeing both of those because both those storylines interest me.
Mhm.
Um, and I could easily see those at some point in the game like converging, which would be a really nice touch because that shows that there's actual story people here. Like I think we said this in the last episode. There may be an actual character arc going
yeah,
on here. You know, there
yeah,
may be
yeah,
some development.
yeah. No, I agree. And I mean, at the end of the trailer, it shows Ghost is there and Price is there, and obviously
Yeah.
Price is going rogue, and they both pull out a knife, and it's like, oh, there's gonna be some battle, right?
Yeah.
Um,
What was that?
I know. I'm like, don't be pulling something where you kill Price or kill Ghost. I
Yeah.
swear
Yeah.
to God,
I,
Ghost has
I
already died. You know, this is so the fact that he's even in here, and this is a whole different storyline because obviously Shepard Shepard kills Ghost. FYI, for for the OGs, but this is a whole different story arc or
right.
storyline. But another thing I want to point out about the campaign too is maybe they just staged it well, but I feel like in the last couple of CODs, specifically the campaign trailers, they look like cinematic movies, which it isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I feel like in this one, it looked more like gameplay esque, if that makes sense. Like the styling of the campaign itself. It reminds me of MW3. And that's not saying the graphics are horrible or anything, but just the style of how they portrayed the trailer looks,
Yes.
older.
So to that, I saw on Twitter they replied to someone who had the same comment, and they said that that trailer was about, if I remember, was 90% actual gameplay.
Oh, see, that's fire. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good news.
that's what they said. And I agree. Like it didn't seem as like, Hollywood-esque kind of put together stuff where you can just tell that it's not. It seemed way more realistic to what the game is looking like, which I like that because it's transparency.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're not gonna do a big deep dive in each parts of the trailer and stuff, but I did like it looked like some of the weapons were cool. It's all modern esque weapons, and um, the maps itself that they're on, I can just picture future multiplayer maps, but we have to wait a bit for the multiplayer campaign or
Yeah.
multiplayer trailer.
Yeah, they had one of the missions in there, or like the scene was they were on a beach. It was like kind of looked like it was the
Mhm.
like beach of Normandy invasion, very similar to that, which is like a classic Call of Duty mission or like Medal of Honor mission, but just in a new spin. So I don't know. I'm hopeful for it. Like really just on that stuff with the campaign, it looks good from the onset here, what they've shown. Um, the campaign, it's not going to make the game, certainly though. But it could definitely be a scar on the game if it's not good. And I think just from this trailer, we're definitely moving out of the D tier for campaigns. I hope. I
I
don't
hope.
want to speak too soon, but it seems like it's already going to be in like the C tier. You know what I mean? Where it, at the very least, it's going to be mid.
Mhm.
I just can't see this campaign, at least from what we've seen, unless they do a like rug pull on us and it's just basically DMZ, like every mission is that and it's open world and we're just absolutely fucking mind blown that that's the
Mhm.
route they go. I think if it's linear like we're seeing and hearing, I think it'll be okay at the least, but it
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
really good.
And the concept too. I mean, it's the concept isn't anything different from just like war movies or war games in general. But I think the time period of being in South Korea and having North Korea invade, like that's never happened before in Call of Duty. So I like it. It's different. I just hope they execute it well. The concept's there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you have a good location. Price is going rogue, so hopefully they build on that, and I really hope they don't make Price super corny or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't want that to happen because you've
Yeah.
already ruined a couple characters and you already killed Soap. I don't need that to happen with Price.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's still hard for me to lay to rest the original trio, like with
Mhm.
the original like Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 3, because yeah, that storyline just does not line up with this at all. So
Yeah,
I really
we
am
just
just
have to
trying to
forget
be
it.
like, yeah, I'm like, okay, that's just a different interpretation of it. This is just a complete reboot, and it's their own like telling of how the series of events goes. But to your point about the campaign, like the story itself, yeah, the premise is really nice. It's better than the MW2 and 3, where they're just like, we got to stop the
Mhm,
missiles, and the enemy or your antagonist through the story, you barely see them, you don't give a fuck about them. Like, this seems to be, there could be some weight behind this campaign where I'm actually excited and invested in the story. So I'm
mhm.
optimistic for sure.
Yeah, and going back to the beginning of, this is the time of the year for Call of Duty leaks and stuff. Again, every year we're always careful now, especially. But if you're just a Call of Duty fan, I don't think anyone is going to be like, no, I'm fucking done with this. Like, if you're a real Call of Duty fan, you're going to get, a little bit excited no matter what. It's a new game. You're getting something new. And after playing the last game and like grinding it out, you know there's going to be a different challenge now coming. Um, and I think this is where, we can move into, I guess, we haven't seen official gameplay yet, but we did get leaks. Well, actually, it's not even leaks, but a couple creators, they got invited to go play the game early. That's how, we didn't get invited. The COD Casuals did not get invited, but
No, devastating.
what one day we will. But a lot of creators came out and said, you know, their pros and cons of the game, and different things that they learned about the game. And for the most part, we talked about it's all positive stuff.
Yes.
Granted, I'm sure they can't give their full insight yet until the beta comes out, or they do like a launch stream or something of the game. But again, going in, not going to be a little bit hesitant, but the stuff that they all put out, you know, is good, but also bare bones. That's stuff that like
Yes.
we expect.
Yeah, it's not good when I see people posting about it. The first thing, they're gonna have red dots on the map.
Yeah.
I'm like, are we really are we really celebrating that? I mean, I know we did lose that at one point, which is still mind-blowing. But yeah, it seems like a good amount of the standard things that we had with Black Ops 7, because there's a lot of good things that that game's brought. Um, it seems like all those standard things that they had, they're going to continue with in this game, which is good. And we were really worried about that, because I'm pretty sure the rumor at first was that this was really going to be a step backwards. They were really trying to pull it back towards like what MW 2019 was. And there's some things that I think are going to be returning from that, like the main thing, tax printing.
Hmm.
Um, it's definitely back. And I'm just looking at my scuffs. I'm going to apologize to them, because they're probably going to end up in the
Well,
graveyard.
the my thing on the tax sprint, I'm hoping that this leaked, video and image that we saw is, a perk or something that was at like
Yeah,
how in Black Ops 7, because now that you said the campaign was like 90% like
gameplay.
gameplay, may I didn't see tax sprint. But again, maybe the 10% is actually the tax sprint and like you running around. So
Rug pull.
yeah, but I saw that the main thing in terms of the movement is that um what is it? Omni movement is gone. Omni movement's taken away, which I think is a bummer, but people did say that now that they speeded up the sliding and the mantling, you can now mantle and hit a slide right off of it, which all right, that speeds up the game. But yeah, I don't I again, like I literally just saw this and was reading comments and stuff. I didn't see people talking about the tax sprint. So either they can't talk about it yet, or it's not in the game that they played. So maybe it is a perk. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I'd have to watch it again to see if it's in there, but yeah, I don't actually know if anyone, like, against what I've said, has really confirmed it. I
Hmm.
think it's mainly just from like images that people have seen, or there's been
Yeah.
some like that blurred video that people are assuming. Um, But I really hope that it is what you're saying, where yeah, it's just a perk. Which if tax sprint is a perk for the rest of the history of the game, that's fine.
Mhm.
I don't care. I mean, I'll never use it. But I just don't know, because when they're talking about the movement, that it's like a combination of the movement from 2019 and MW3, that's where I'm like, well, that was definitely a part of the movement, but maybe they're part of like refining it, is getting rid of the tax sprint.
And yeah, and
Um,
speeding everything else up, which again
yeah,
I'm fine with. If the game is fast in terms of the slide, like you have unlimited sprint and you mantle quickly, cool. I'm fine with that. Even though I did like omni movement, but if all that other stuff's quick, then I'm fine with that.
yeah, and I'm also cool with it, in the sense that that's more than likely going to be Treyarch's thing for
Mhm.
like the foreseeable future. Is they're going to continue to use Omni movement and refine it, or just add on to it. Um, and from what we're seeing with Infinity Ward, they're talking about this being, of course, they're not going to say like it's a step in backwards. Like, of course, it's their best version yet.
Mhm.
But if that's going to be their type of movement, then that'll be a little bit of an incentive from year to year, where these developers are starting to really have their own style just in movement alone.
Yeah, yeah. And the like other news I saw about you know the gameplay that these creators played. I saw that 12 maps, 12 6v6 maps right at launch. Great. The more maps, the merrier. Again, standard stuff, but I'll take 12 6v6 maps. And they're brand
Yeah.
new maps, too. None of them are remastered. They're all brand new maps. And you and I have talked about it a lot. We just want new maps. The remasters are good, but we want new maps. So I did like that. I also saw that people were happy with the gunplay, which is obviously very important in a Call of Duty. And you mentioned that they got rid of Bloom, which essentially, for people that don't know what Bloom is, if you go back to specifically Vanguard, because that's when everybody was talking about it on the MP40, is where you kind of have to lead your bullets a tiny bit. And Bloom essentially started because of Warzone, right? And now it's if you aim your red dot at someone and shoot, it's going straight. You don't need to like lead your bullets at all. Um, and in Vanguard, at least, Bloom was so annoying because you could be shooting your bullets straight at someone and they're just like going everywhere.
Right.
Like, and you definitely killed that person in like every other COD, but in that one, you didn't. So I just remember Bloom being talked about a lot. And in this, they got rid of Bloom, which I'm totally fine with. I think for all casual players, the majority of players, this is great because you have to aim. If you're a straight shooter, you're gonna do well. What people are worried about is the hip fire, because if you hip fire wherever your crosshairs are, it's gonna go there. I don't think that changes anything for you know the everyday player. Like you and I, like we're gonna hit our shots for the most part when hip firing. I think where this is worrisome is on the pro side, because they could just walk around hip firing and not even aim in. But those guys centering is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and like along with that, that's going to be a problem with them when they have like AR players versus sub players, because yeah, if you have a gun that's just got super high rate and like high damage rate, then it's going to be broken,
Mhm.
or it's going to be a real problem for them to figure out. But they've got time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's they've got quite a ways until they get to it, but it'll definitely be a discussion that we're going to have to talk about again, and they're going to have to figure out. Um, but on the casual side of it, yeah, I'm totally for this. I'm fine with getting rid of it. I think it was a bit surprising too that they did get rid of that. I really didn't expect it, because it's been in COD for so long, and I just feel, because again, they're really always trying to streamline now with DMZ and Warzone and multiplayer, that they would add, or they would keep stuff like that the
Mhm.
same across all of the platforms or different versions of the game. So it's nice to see that they're getting rid of that. And yeah, I mean, we'll be fine without it.
Yeah.
Because we can actually shoot. But yeah, it's it's gonna be it's gonna be a nice change. Um, and I'm trying to really think else too, but with regarding the weapons, because in some of the movement, that's kind of my question is, and I really want to see like multiplayer gameplay with it because there's a lot of talk as to how this is actually going to look and how it's going to play because they've touted this as like the most realistic movement that they've ever developed.
Hmm.
And when you go back to 2019, like that's hella realistic, you
Hmm.
know? And, like MW3 is way more arcadey. So for them to try to find that blend, um, I'm really curious to see how it plays out. But I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Like, what does realistic mean to them?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
again, at the end of the day, even when we watch the multiplayer trailer, we're obviously going to judge it and, give our opinions on it. But it may look good, it may look bad, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone will really know unless it's like you pick up the controller and play it. So we'll have our final thoughts once we play the beta. But I mean, I'm excited for it. This game comes out October 23rd, they said, which is kind of crazy. It's about to be June.
Yeah.
Like
It's
October
coming.
October 23rd is going to come really fast, and
Yeah.
the DMZ trailers being released June 7th, and then I'm sure the multiplayer is probably going to follow suit somewhere like towards the end of June, and then uh probably a possible beta sometimes like towards the end of August maybe, or like going into September. But so far, like the leaks, it's all your standard stuff, right? Like we mentioned, but it's good stuff that we need to hear.
Yeah, and there's some other things that they'd had in there. I saw regarding like ledge hanging and being able to shoot
Mhm.
over a ledge, and now you can slide on a ledge. Um, these things, and I think slide canceling is more. I think they're saying that that's probably going to be making a return. But with the mantling system and like being able to slide, I'm always for that stuff. I think you
Mhm.
should, regarding movement in Call of Duty, I don't think you should be limited at all. I mean, that's why I always like jetpacks because you could just do whatever you want in those games.
Mhm.
But when it comes to some system like that, um, it's cool, but I don't really know how that's gonna play a ton into gameplay, you know? Like, you know what I mean? It just
Mhm.
I don't find myself in those situations very often just from the games I play now, but maybe these maps, they're gonna have this, like, be kind of a part of it where you can do that a lot, and it's maybe an ideal move to be doing it. Um, but I'm more when I saw like the ledge, like being able to slide on there and shoot over, I just already know when the CDL starts up for this game, there's just going to be some crazy shit where people end up doing that,
Mhm.
and just finessing people sliding on like a fucking ledge. Like it'll be really cool, but um, I don't know how much I'm going to use it. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, I mean, right? I think it's just going to be case by case scenario. I mean, based on what has been put out there already, it's going to be a boots on the ground COD. We're going to play like it's a boots on the ground COD, and then the hanging over the ledge and shooting. We've had that before. How often are we going to do that? I mean, again, who knows? When we know someone's like in the room or whatever that we're looking into, we'll peek really quick. But odds are we're probably just mantling straight over.
Yeah.
In the pros, I mean, that's going to create insane line of sights for players, but it's nothing the pros haven't like encountered before at this point.
Right, right. And I think it'll be more utilized on that level than in pubs for us, but we'll have to see again regarding like just gameplay and playing the maps. That's really the only way we're going to figure it out. The other two things I saw that they're adding, classic prestige is coming back. Thank God. We're not, I think the season cap or season, leveling is in the past.
Mhm.
They've definitely learned from that. The perks, like the standard perk system, is coming back, which is good. The two things that I wanted to talk about regarding it, which I think are big ones, is that the operators and streaks per loadout, so that you don't have to like for a set of streaks, you can go and customize that per loadout. Like you don't need to go and just have one set
Mhm.
for everything, which I've bitched before about like too much customization and stuff like that, which I'm still on, but stuff like that I think is a really nice touch. That's something that we haven't really seen before, and it's nice that you can go and do that. If you're going to be running, a sniper class, yeah, you don't want to be going through menuing and having to change your streaks to like UAV counter UAV or something. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
maybe playing more like back and playing lower streaks compared to if you're running like an AR and a sub and you're trying to kill whore, you
Mhm.
want to run high streaks. I think that level of customization that they're going to add in with this is a nice touch.
Yeah, yeah. I This is one of those things where it's nice to have. They're probably going to have an option that says, here are the three streaks that you decided. Do you want these to copy all or whatever for your classes? And this is just something that honestly probably should have been in like earlier in the CODs, where it's just something easy to do instead of having a one size fits all solution. Um, and a lot of the lines of you're talking about the prestige system. I saw that there was a prestige system, but then there is, I think they're calling it like the classic prestige,
Yeah.
which that's not classic to me. What they were saying, classic
Yeah.
prestige to me is you get the 10th prestige, which is what we've been doing. The other prestige is the other option is you just level up. You just keep leveling up, and you don't restart, which I see that as so you don't want to grind and unlock. You don't want to restart essentially to your next prestige. But one thing I did see on that is if you pick that system, you will get a one of a kind ghost skin, which I don't like that because what the fuck do you mean that you get a skin because you get to do that from the start? I hope that's not actually true, but I did see the two prestige systems where I think you and I are both gonna do the OG way, actually prestige and restart and like grind our way through because that's how you do it. Where
Yeah.
like, we're not gonna like bitch out and just I don't want to lose everything. That's the point. You're supposed to
Yeah.
restart.
I mean, why do they even have two systems in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah. So
Like,
I don't know who's gonna do the other one unless they're like the incentivize is you get a custom ghost skin, which I think that's stupid. If you get a custom ghost skin, I want unique skins, but not in terms like that. Like, why are you punishing someone else for playing your game probably more, to be honest, to get to 10th prestige, um, and they don't get a skin?
yeah, and now that's going against the operator thing, where that's a nice thing for player choice and kill streaks. That's a choice that you shouldn't make. Like, bro, the only choice should be: do you prestige or do you not? There
Yeah.
shouldn't be the punk out route where, yeah, if you don't want to, don't worry, you're just gonna keep leveling up, and then the normal people who, yeah, when you get to level 55 or max level, whatever it's going to be,
Mhm.
you have to figure out and decide: do you want to do it or not? Um, yeah, I don't like that. And if they get something and we don't, that's ridiculous. I mean,
That's what I'm
classic
saying.
prestige, bro, you should be getting something hella good every prestige then, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a really weird thing. I don't understand that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why. Again, I saw it. They said that there are two prestige systems. Maybe they'll change that in the beta, and maybe they'll just change it going into the game. Again, we'll see. But I am excited to see all these creators put out their gameplay and things like that. One thing that I did want to talk about was people were talking about this has been a trend lately, not just in Call of Duty, but just feel like in life, people are trying to be more nostalgic and going back to like physical media, right? People are buying iPods again, which don't get me started about that. That's
Yep.
whatever. But I saw that you can buy MW for a physical disc, which is nothing new. Um, but apparently, the physical disc, if you buy, you get a steelbook case with it. I
Mhm.
don't know if people know what a steelbook case is anymore, but essentially, it's a custom like artwork cover for whatever game you buy. Back in the day when you had to go in and buy games in the store, you could buy a limited edition copy or whatever, or like launch copies, and you would get the steelbook case, which honestly is pretty cool. and they do this for movies and stuff too. But
You've
you
got
know,
a few, right?
yeah, I got a few. They're really cool. I mean, it's custom artwork. It's not like every other game cover,
Yeah.
so it is cool, and I'm glad they're doing it again. But I wonder if they're gonna do a like an operator edition or some limited edition thing, and if they do, what's actually gonna be in that?
Yeah, I wish more games would go back to doing the steel books or doing the collector's edition or legacy edition, whatever they end up calling them. Like for Call of Duty, it's nice that they're doing that. And yeah, it would be cool if they did, some like operator edition where you get like a statue of Ghost and Price, or you get some like pair of dog tags. And they've done all this stuff in the past. Like the classic Black Ops with the RCXD, like that stuff was so cool.
Mhm.
And I don't know if they just stopped doing it because they got lazy, or at least the stuff that they put out in the newer CODs, it just wasn't as intricate and unique. Um, so I hope they return to that. If not with MW4, I hope down the line they kind of go back to those people who really want to buy that stuff and collect it, because there's definitely a lot of people that would, but you just need to make it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there are collectors out there for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
Call of Duty has had a lot of cool collectibles. I mean, you and I both have them, and
Mhm.
if it was cool enough, I mean, you could convince me. It would just have to be really cool. And the steel bookcase, I mean, I like, but at the end of the day, am I going to go buy it if it doesn't come with something else? Probably not, because it is easy just to go and download like right away. But yeah, who knows? Maybe midnight releases will come back for this game. Who knows?
That would be
GameStop,
godlike.
they just decide to do it, and that'd be sick. Like you
You know
get
what they could do?
something just for this game.
So the game's coming out on the 23rd, right? And what would be great is if they're like on October 23rd, you can only buy it in stores.
Hmm.
The 24th, you could buy it online.
Yeah,
Or like the 20, or yeah,
yeah,
like sometime then, that's when it's open to the PlayStation
yeah,
Store. I'd be like, get these Game
yeah.
Stops, get them filled up.
Mhm. See, that would be cool because every single COD recently, right? It feels like, oh yeah, you and I wait till it actually releases at midnight. Fucking
Yeah,
every other streamer and stuff, they're like, I downloaded the game like 24 hours ago because they're in Australia time, and I'm like,
yeah,
okay, the average person is not doing that. Like, we're not going to go out of our way to do all that and set our time and like whatnot. But I like again, I understand why streamers and stuff do it because people like us can go and watch it. But last episode, I talked about it. There's something about opening up a game, going into it, knowing nothing,
hmm
and that's like what I want. And you don't really get that anymore, especially if people are switching their time zone to Australia and they get it like a whole day ahead. And meanwhile, you and I are waiting until midnight, just waiting for this to finish downloading. Then we load in and play. It doesn't
yeah.
feel as special.
No, no, it doesn't. And it still doesn't feel as good as when you would like get the game in the person,
Mhm.
You'd have to go to Best Buy or whatever, and then you'd actually have the disc and be like, oh shit. And you gotta like drive home. You're like, fuck, dude, I can't play this yet. Like you're maybe speeding a little bit.
Mhm.
Like that was a different feeling. Um, instead of just sitting at home, you're like, oh, it's midnight, and then the game starts downloading, you're like, all right, tight.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
let me go
exactly.
make some coffee or something in the meantime. Um, yeah, and no, we're never gonna go that crazy because like one, it's not worth it. Like I'm sure I could figure out how to do it if you wanted to go and put on like New Zealand time or Australia time and play the game a day early. But I think something like that to get people buying physical media or at least get people through the doors. And if they had cool stuff like that, some collector's edition, um, people would for sure do that.
Mhm.
It's like,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
that's easy. It's like, oh yeah, the game. Hey, there's a GameStop near you or Best Buy, it's going to be available that day. If you want to get it, just go to the store and buy it physically. If you can't get it, well, then you're going to have to wait until the 24th,
Yeah,
like that would be an easy, but I'm sure there'd be people who would be living it. Bro, the closest Best Buy to me
100%.
is 150 miles. Fuck these guys. But it's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I remember back in the day getting the COD early, like you knew someone because they would have the physical disc. You know,
Yeah.
they do some of that work at Walmart or wherever they were buying their game. And now, I mean, I totally would miss a whole day if they did like a midnight release and they did like a party event or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Screw that. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have the whole year to play. I want to go
Yeah.
hang out with like my friends and like people that actually, enjoy the game. I totally would go to a midnight release now and like miss a whole day. I mean, we did that for MW2 at the
Yeah.
Breach facility. I mean, we missed a whole day of playing. I mean, whatever. It's like we're gonna catch up.
Yeah, dude, that's the whole thing with all that stuff anyway. When people go to like they go to great lengths like that, like
Mhm.
man, how much time you really saving? Like,
Mhm.
I get that again for creators. I understand that. But if you're not a creator, like, bro, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
just wait, man. It's gonna be all right. You're not gonna be, missing that much if you don't play for one day.
Mhm. And
Um,
I think there's something to say too about waiting to play it like with all your friends. Like all of
yeah.
you are just hyped
Yeah,
to just,
totally.
all right, let's load into a lobby together and just do it. And granted, yeah, I'm sure some people have like groups of people that let's all change our time to Australia, New Zealand time. Sure, have at it. Like if you're doing that, but I think nowadays these releases like they lose their spark a bit because the day before I open up X or I go on Twitch, like videos are already out. People are already playing the game. They're already first prestige. I'm like, damn, I gotta go to work.
Yeah, right.
And then I finish work, and then damn, they're already third prestige, fourth prestige. Okay, um, and then I'm still waiting till midnight to fucking go play the game. But yeah, I think it'd be cool if someone hosted something like that, like another midnight release where there is an event, you're gonna go and celebrate this game coming out, and it also helps you if it was a really good game.
1 second. I just want to make sure my mic was good again here. But yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I think that when you go and just jump in the game that day with everybody, um, that's really the feeling that you always want to go. And if you don't have people to play with, like it sucks because that really is like the best part. Like we've done that now for years where
Mhm.
you and I wait and then we load into the first games. We're like, oh, bro, we're gonna make sure we experience the first match together, you
Mhm.
know. And yeah, I try my best to always avoid social media when that stuff's going out. Like, I know with COD, we'll go and watch gameplay of it and whatever, but it still hits different when I don't know really anything about it other than just what they've put out for trailers. I
Mhm.
don't want to see Scump getting like a 5 on. I don't I'm just like, no, I don't want to see what anything looks like. I don't want to know what the guns really sound like or what the medals. I just want to experience that myself.
Mhm.
Um, so I'll always just be waiting for when the game comes out, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and hopefully this game it's a really good game when it does come out. I mean, I
It's looking good.
yeah, the campaign looks good. I did see. I don't know if it's rumors or if it's actually from creators that played it and it's confirmed, but apparently they're going to do early access for the campaign again, which is a
Yep.
W because you and I love that, and I know a lot of other people love that too because you and I always jump into campaign first before jumping into multiplayer. Granted, that has like changed a bit now, where we still jump into campaign, but then we always jump into multiplayer together, like afterwards. We don't wait to just beat the campaign because nowadays we can't just sit for a whole day and just grind it out and then
Yeah.
play it.
No, and another thing on the campaign side that I forgot to mention, which again is one of those things where I'm like, okay, thank God, but this is bare bones, is they said on there that you can play it offline.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
like, whoa, whoa,
oh,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, say no.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
We could
like,
pause the
yeah,
game.
I well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, can you pause it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like
yeah,
this is usually going to be in the top 10
yeah.
now. Um, yeah, I those little things like that are going to be they're definitely going to be good
I
for
wonder
it.
if there's gonna be a co-op.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
feel
don't know
like
if
they
there's
would have
going to be
talked
one.
about that like by now. If there was a co-op.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a co-op COD campaign. I
Yeah.
think Black Ops 3 had that. I think Black Ops
Uh,
3 had a campaign co. I think they did. I can't remember. But it's been a long time since they've done that. And yeah, I
I
think
mean,
if they were going to be doing it, that would have been like big time hype. They would have
yeah,
said that.
yeah. I mean, BO7 had one, but we know how that went. It was like you're playing a single player.
Yeah,
It
anymore.
was
Yeah. We
they.
were excited about that for about 30 seconds, and then we started playing, and we're like, huh?
Yeah, why is your character doing the same exact thing that I'm doing, and how come your
Yeah.
cutscenes are my POV? It's just
Oh, yeah.
that is not even trying in a,
Yeah, no,
a campaign.
that was a
And
disaster on the highest
hopefully
order.
in the campaign, like we won't know until we play it, right? Because in BO7, right, you can literally walk up to enemies and they're just shooting, shooting. They're not trying to kill you. They're like such bad bots. I mean,
Yeah,
I
this needs a
don't.
difficulty slider.
It just should be normal. I mean, we were playing on normal on that, and we were just running through like it was multiplayer, mowing down everyone, and you didn't even need to kill everyone. You could just run through into the next cutscene.
Yeah, no, it was a joke, but and
Yeah.
I think too, bro. If I'm pretty sure that game didn't even have a you couldn't even select a difficulty. It
Oh
was
no,
just
no, it was
yeah,
just
it
one.
was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
one
But
difficulty,
I'm
which is
expecting that difficulty is normal, and if that's
yeah,
normal,
yeah.
that's
Oh
awful
yeah.
because it's way
No,
too
that
easy.
and that was the problem. It was such a joke. And that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying. Like, why did we ever go away from recruit, regular, hard, and veteran? Like,
yeah,
what was there was nothing wrong with that. Like, regular is just always the way to go. If you wanted a little bit harder, go to harder. And then veteran sometimes it's like a roll the dice. It could
yeah,
be
yeah,
insanely impossible or it could be like a good challenge.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, they need to go back to that for sure. I hope that comes out. But yeah, it'll be nice going back to the early access, just having that time
Hmm.
because for us and most people too, if you're going to be playing the campaign, you don't really want to waste too much time on the campaign with multiplayer if that's going on at the same time. And I can't really go and play campaign for like do one mission and be like, all right, let's go play multiplayer for the
Yeah.
night. To me, I'm like, no, I have to finish this.
Hmm.
Like that's what I like is that when I have the early access, I can just play only that.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have to worry about any other thing, and I like got to rush through it or something. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm good for now because multiplayer ain't even out yet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And if we have a week to do it, that's plenty of time to beat a Call of Duty campaign. So
Yeah,
I hope the early access is a thing, and yeah, I just hope the bots again are just normal bots. I mean, it should just be. I always pictured it as regular, normal, whatever that game uh, difficulty setting is. Regular or normal is the way that the developer created the game for you to play on. That is how they wanted you to experience it. And if I'm going by that definition, Black Ops 7 is how they wanted us to experience it. And that's crazy that you
yeah,
can
they're
just
bugging.
you can just run like Raven did this. I can't believe you can just run into the next cutscene and like, oh, you didn't kill everyone. That you're in the next cutscene. You're good. And move to the next part of the mission. That should just not happen.
Yeah, that was a travesty. I mean, you could easily tell that this game was barely play tested, or if it was, the people that played it legit are so fucking terrible at the game.
Mhm.
Like there's just no way. Like if you have two hands, that campaign is a joke.
Yeah.
Um, and again, if they do some stuff like that where they just have one default difficulty, they're like, oh, it's gonna be the same experience for everybody. Yeah, that's huge danger. Like I don't want that at all. I want like you said, and already just having those options for what it's always been in Call of Duty. Regular normals is the way that you always go. That's how the developers intended it and just leave it at that. Like, give us the options, but you know what you're supposed to do. Like,
Yeah.
don't load in and play on veteran first time like you're an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I the last thing I'll say on the game and just what we've heard so far regarding leaks is one thing that I saw was Swag. He had tweeted out that the UI in this game apparently is incredibly improved. Like I'm pretty sure that he had said it was basically like what MW2 and MW3, like the OG ones,
Mm.
like way more simple and bare bones regarding how to navigate it instead of this like, Hulu TV, like whatever bullshit that they've gone
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
where it's, just a nightmare to kind of menu through. Um, we don't know anything about that. We haven't seen anything on it. He could just be talking out of his hat on that one, but if that is true, that's great
Yeah.
because the COD UI over the years has just been the same thing. And there's just slight tweaks that make it a little bit better or just make it worse. And it was never broken back in the day.
Mhm.
And it's all the same stuff. They haven't added anything really new that you need to look at to menu through. It's just they had it laid out so simply back in the day. And they just need to go back to that. If it wasn't broke then, and I don't know why they all of a sudden decided to fix it.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, they've just been doing too much with that stuff. Just let me hit start
Legit.
game, TDM, I'm searching for a match. That's all I need. And then, create my classes or whatever. But yeah, I'm also curious about the, create a class system because they did talk about leveling up weapons. Some creators saying that now when you hit max level on a weapon, you unlock like, I think they're calling it like an apex attachment, which is whatever the top attachment is for that weapon. And I think it changes your gun, kind of like the gunsmith. So I just wonder how that's going to be. But again, we won't know until we see gameplay for that stuff. And at the end of the day, I just want to get my hands on the game and just play it. And we'll see how that goes. And maybe next year for the next COD, COD, the COD casuals will be there.
Bro,
And
we're bugging that we didn't get
yeah,
the invite. Fuck, bro.
yeah, man.
But
200
shout out
games.
T Dog though. T Dog got it though.
I know Tyler got it.
That's the
Yeah,
homie. We appreciate it.
the Call of Duty is back, guy,
Yeah.
and I hope it's back. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
I hope so too, bro. We
our
need it.
name is Call of Duty. It's got to be
Yeah.
back, man. It's got to be back.
I mean, it's looking good. But we say that every year. I'm not getting too excited. I'm gonna say the campaign looks good.
Yeah,
Campaign
campaign
looks good.
looks good. Yeah,
Whatever. We leave it at that.
I do like that they said that the majority of this campaign was gameplay, though. That makes me
Yeah.
feel good about
Mhm.
going into the multiplayer. And stay tuned for a Black Ops 7 review. But coming off of like this, I mean, this was a good game, right? The
Yeah.
mechanics, multiplayer was good. We enjoyed it. I know it wasn't the nowhere near the top sold game, top sold Call of Duty, but we enjoyed it. I think people are going to go back and be like, "Wow,
Oh yeah.
this game was a good
Yeah.
game." I hope
3 years.
MW4 is even better. I don't
Yeah.
wish anything bad for Call of Duty. If anything, I hope every year afterwards is just better than the previous year. So we can't be like going back and forth here. So I hope Modern Warfare is good. I'll leave it at that. We'll bring all of you guys more news once the multiplayer reveal comes out, and then DMZ too. I know we don't talk about DMZ, but we obviously should talk about it because this is clearly the third game mode that they're really pushing out. So
Yeah. So when we get more info on it, we'll definitely be talking about it. 'Cause this was just the start of the leaks and reveals. There's going to be plenty more in the coming weeks, so we're looking forward to that.
mhm.
But Justin, we got to shift. Okay. There's been a ton of CDL stuff that's been going on here. If people follow the CDL, I mean, this was like a kind of a mind blowing time here in between, like after Major 3. The amount of roster changes that has happened in the wake of the results of this has been pretty crazy. There's been a few unexpected things. Well, I'd say there's been a lot of unexpected moves that have happened. There's been a trade that's gone down, which at least in the CDL, I don't think this has happened yet. Like a direct swap between teams. Um, and yeah, we'll cover it quickly. We don't have to go too much into it. We'll cover all the big ones at least that are going to be impactful. There were some changes with Cloud9. Not whatever. I'm sorry. It's not going to make them
So,
better or anything.
uh,
Same thing with Carolina.
yeah,
They
uh,
brought in
uh,
Standy. Good to see him.
I think that move with Standy will actually help them. Uh,
Yeah, I think
the
yeah.
the
Yeah.
the Cloud9, they got rid of Ocus. They brought in an 18-year-old called Wevy, I believe that's his name. And to be honest, if anything, it's good for Wevy because now people like us that don't watch challengers all the time will get to see him. And
Mhm.
granted, you and I look at these shitty teams in a different way because you can bring in a godlike player and then onto a shitty environment and team, and they're probably more than likely they're not going to do that well. But he could be like a Lurks, where he's just frying and taking over, and it'll just be good to see. There was like drama around like the Wevy stuff. I don't know if you were following it, but the whole contract
Yeah,
situation,
regarding the
crazy.
buyout.
The buyout and like how they went about how C9 went about it. Like, I'll give everyone a quick recap. Apparently, Wevy signed a contract with Cloud9, but he was supposed to be on the Bush, and there was like a buyout where C Bush wanted like 10K from C9. C9 was like, no, we're giving you 2K max. That's it. What the fuck? What do you mean? And apparently Wevy signed with C9 already. And that just became a bunch of drama because I can't blame the kid necessarily because he's 18. Dude doesn't know anything about contracts. But like for anybody listening, like this applies to like anything you sign. Read it first, right? Read the fucking thing that you're signing. Two, if you sign a contract, you signed it. That's end of story. Like you have whatever you signed, you agreed upon. And you can't like backtrack afterwards and be like,
Right.
wait a minute. So I'll leave it at that from my
Yeah,
side.
get a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. Get
Like,
some. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that, and I'll take back what I was saying too regarding the moves. Like, yeah, it is good to see these guys come in because you're right. They could definitely be somebody that, you know, comes in and actually could do well. Now, I'm coming from the angle too, and I know you know this, but most people do too. Like Cloud9 is not going to all of a sudden become a great team,
No,
and
no.
same thing with Carolina. Like Standing May, like he could do really well for them and help them a bit. But it is good just to see these guys come in. I'm happy to see Standy in because I've always liked him. And he's had kind of a really like beans like for his
Mm-hmm.
career where he's been on teams kind of like wrong team,
Mm-hmm.
wrong time, or right team, wrong time,
He's with
and never
chips though.
really.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
He has chips.
yeah, he does. Yeah, and that's the thing that's even weirder because he's proven himself that he is really good, but he just never really finds himself like on a team consistently, year
Mhm.
after year. So it's good to see him back. And yeah, all this drama regarding like Wevy and Cloud9. If anything, it was good for him because it just brought publicity because now people even know who this guy is.
Yeah.
If he just joined the team, people wouldn't really care about it. But
Mhm.
then when they found out that like he was involved with like the direct scumbaggery of
Yeah.
Cloud9
Yeah. Yeah.
and how they were like, we wanted to pay half of it because we're signing him and like basically blessing him for EWC,
Mhm.
which is insane. Like,
Yeah, they're taking away his
yeah,
future earnings. They're like, oh, the way that they phrase it, I'm like, dude, you're taking money from. What do you mean he didn't earn this yet?
yeah.
They're like,
I
oh,
mean,
this guy gets 5K from making it to EWC, and they're like, so it's not coming out of your pocket technically. Yes, it is. What do you mean? It's coming out of his future pocket. Of course,
yeah,
like cut it out. They're like, that doesn't make
yeah.
any sense. But he gets seen. Shitty scenario for him, to be honest. I mean, like, I'm sure he knows, and he's gonna try really hard, obviously. But like you said, they're not gonna all of a sudden just like qualify for champs and just start beating like Optic or Thieves or FaZe. It's just not happening. But he's on the main stage now, and hopefully he can like show out and do something. Because I will say, at least with the Cloud9 roster, yeah, it is just a random like challengers team they kind of picked up, but they gave the team a shot. It's not like they're changing every single major. Granted,
Right.
should they have? Probably. But we really saw Okus like, this was what we saw from Okus. It was like a decent sized pool of like his gameplay. And I don't think this was his game. I mean, like the one crazy thing he did was when he like 1v2'd Gentlemates or 1v3 Gentlemates and like snapped onto Sib. That
Mhm.
was the most memorable thing. And then Gentlemates went to win Major One. So
Yeah, it's I don't know. Those moves, like, they're going to be good for those players, or just at least a potential for them to shine individually, and that's kind of, I feel like, the function of those teams at the bottom, because they're really only just playing for EWC at this point,
mhm.
and trying to build a roster for that, or for these guys individually to build their stock up and maybe end up on another team next year. But yeah, I don't know where they're really going to end up for the rest of the year and how they're going to perform. And the same thing too, which we'll have to tragically touch on. It has gotten worse for the Breach, Justin. We lost our boy Nasty. He's gone.
Throw up the
Um,
white flag, man. We surrender.
yeah, he surrendered. Yeah, there was, and this is part of the trade that we'll talk about. But quickly with Boston, yeah. So he's out, and we have TJ, who's in now. He's going to be on the team, returning former Boston Breach member. I think.
Let's go, Tej.
I was going to say, I don't know if I had a poster of him in the back here. I don't have that one hanging up, but
I have it somewhere.
yeah, it's somewhere. I
Yeah.
mean,
Tej is back.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, what do you say, dude?
I mean, I will say the positive is that, morally, I'm very happy that they let our boy Nasty walk.
Yep.
They could have just been like, fuck no. I mean,
Yeah.
like, we're keeping
We could
you.
have held him hostage.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the dude did everything that he could. He tried. He tried. There's just the team's broken. The org is broken right now. And I am glad he like made it out. And he's going to a team that is slightly better, I would say, on paper, right? But in the scenario that he's in, much, much better. Now that he's on G2, he's with Kremp. It's funny because him and Kremp obviously teamed on LAT. So now they're back together again. And then the CDL trade that you're talking about for G2 traded Estriel to Gentlemates, and Gentlemates traded Envoy to G2. And I know people have been saying like Envoy is, he's been awful. He's not been good. But at the end of the day, he's Envoy, and I think he's a good teammate, and he's going to show up. So I think it was a pretty fair trade, to be honest, at the end of the day. Like, I think it does make both teams better, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think so too. And it was kind of wild because people were talking about Gentlemates dropping Envoy. Like, that's been the rumor for quite a while. I think even after Major 2, people were talking about that, or during the qualifiers. So the fact that it actually happened, and I'm sure this is influenced not just by their result that they had at Major 3, which was not good, but also the fact that Major 4 is in Paris, and also EWC is in Paris as well. So they're definitely making some changes to make sure that they don't get clapped at these events.
Mm-hmm.
But it is just crazy to see Envoy go. So G2 had it was Mamba and Estoril, and they got rid of both of those guys. Not, I'm probably not because they wanted to, obviously. Well, maybe a little bit, but yeah, Estoril
They
now
need to make a
went
change,
to
yeah.
Gentlemates, yeah, and then Mamba went to Surge,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how, like, it's kind of a long wind of all these moves that had to go down.
Mm-hmm.
But and that resulted in like the big time shakeups here. So yeah, seeing Envoy on G2 and Nasty on G2 with him, um, I think that team gets way better.
Yeah.
Personally, I
Yeah.
think G2 becomes a way better team. Um, I don't know with Gentlemates. Like, Esther Real's really good. I think he also too, nothing like against Dylan, Envoy, but I have a feeling that Esther Real is gonna vibe with that team more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just get like the vibe of how he is,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think that may play a little role in it. Maybe I could just be bugging on that, but I don't know. It seems like Envoy, with those people around him, I feel like he'd work really well with them.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
And I'm excited for that G2 team. I hope they do well.
Yeah, and I will say again, like reiterating, I think this is the most fairest trade in the CDL that you'll see because
Mhm,
I think both teams like really benefit from this. You know, it's
mhm.
not like when you think of a trade, right? Um you're finessing like another team essentially. But in this scenario, I think both teams benefit. Estriel, hey, he's had a pretty good season. It's been a very quiet season because Kremp is his teammates, and Kremp has been going off the majority of the season. Um, so I think this works out. And I mean, again, I'm here for the storylines. Now it's Skies, Nasty, Envoy, and Kremp. Like,
Mhm.
what if G2 just I don't know. What if Envoy does his magic again and wins fucking again with a different team? And I think if he somehow did it with this G2 team, because I think it's delusional to think that, but dude, you never
Is it
know.
though?
You never know because I mean, Kremp adding Kremp and then Envoy now like, as the sub duo, and then bringing in Nasty. It's a different pace. The team's going to be different. If Envoy can do it again and win in the same year, he might be the first CDL player to win two majors on different teams. And I already think people like make fun of Envoy and stuff, but I think there's something to say about a player that can consistently is like dropped or the scapegoat of every team and then goes to a different team and then still finds a way to win. And he's done that with multiple teams. So
Yeah.
I believe that he can do it again with this G2 team. It's not like the players around him are garbage.
No, not at all. It's really just a lot of questions, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to. Envoy's been in a slump, but everyone and rightfully so is holding on to the fact that yeah, he was really good during the first split and they won. So it's not like he forgot how to play this game. He can still do it, but his system and the team that he was with, clearly they needed to make a change because of it. So I wonder what that's going to be like with him with like three new players, two of which former Thieves players, which is just cool. But
Mhm.
and same thing with Nasty. Like Nasty's been good, but you wouldn't really know it that much because he's on Breach, and been
Mhm.
on Breach, and they haven't really gotten anywhere. So it's really going to be down to those two to see how they end up working with this team and can they really gel and get a good system going and do well. I do believe that they can and they will. And I hope the same for Gentlemates. They clearly needed a change. Esther really said having a really good season. And I think he's going to be a good fit on that team. So it's nice to see that both of these teams, especially Gentlemates, they like this was a positive. Like they
Mhm.
they have moved up a bit in their ability. But we'll have to wait and see, of course, how they
Yeah.
end up playing
Well,
over the weekend here. We only have to
no.
wait a day.
Now I'm waiting for that G2 versus Gentleman's match.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
it's
if it
gonna be
lines
good.
up that on LAN in Paris
Oh my god,
and Dylan Envoy fucking knocks out the Gentleman's,
bro,
that would,
the roof will go. It would be blown.
yeah, it's
Like that would be the best thing
and then Dill
ever.
would get up and be like, "You dropped me."
He's gonna be
No,
double
you
fingers,
didn't
like,
drop
oh
me.
my god.
You traded me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try
Well,
he would never
yeah,
say that, but I wish he would. "You dropped me for that?"
yeah. Well, that's like the when Karma got dropped for Clay after they won like a tournament, and now
Yeah.
oh yeah, other way around, and now like fucking Estriel like wins, and then he stands up like, yeah, that's why you traded for
Right,
me.
right. That's why you got dropped.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting. I'm here for the storylines and like if there is a player that can do it, it is him. I mean, he's done it multiple times. At this point, like you can't count the guy out at this point.
No, you can. And it's gonna be a good change for him and definitely for Nasty. It does suck that, yeah, it had to come at the expense of us in the breach. But I
Morally,
mean, look,
I'm glad the
wh-
Breach did the right thing because
yeah.
they could have just held on to him. And would, if Nasty somehow, like, this team just turns around, I think this is going to be the first time ever in CDL history where, like, the team from the previous year that completely split up, all of them have won.
Yeah. Yeah, which would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, just a testament to those players and their consistency, but also to the fact that they just really did need a change.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm hoping that's with Envoy. I'm
Mhm.
hoping that this guy comes out and he's like back to Major One form. Because I like him and I really like that team. So this was a really good shift up. There was a lot of moving parts that happened. And there's some changes that didn't happen that people were surprised about, but I think to me that just makes it even more exciting because now it's gonna potentially put those other teams in the hot seat, being like, "You fucked up. You should have made
Mhm.
some changes because
Mhm.
these teams made changes and they're better now."
Mhm.
So yeah, all to your thing of the storylines. I'm all for it. I can't wait to see these guys play.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the rosters going into the split, it is the final roster going into champs, and I'm pretty sure EWC. I could be wrong with the EWC part, but I know for sure major foreign champs, whatever rosters that they have now is the roster that they have to stick with. So we're gonna
Yeah.
get at least two events with the same rosters, which is a decent amount of time to for them to mesh together. And you know, Optic didn't make a change, which no one's surprised about. But I will say, some fucking Optic fans were targeting Merc, which is just
These
fuck it. They're
people,
crazy, man. They're
these
crazy.
people, these people,
What,
Justin.
this guy has one bad event, and it wasn't even a bad event. It just wasn't an event where he was a star like every other event. Like, he just played okay. It's not like he played awful. He just played okay.
Nah,
And,
that's
and
coke, dude. He's cooked. We
he's
need to
cooked.
drop him, bro.
I know. Need to drop him. Everybody was praising this guy. Now they're like, drop him. He's a problem. He's a
Yeah, dude.
problem. He
Yeah,
made these play. Yeah.
these
Like,
fans, these armchair fans, are the problem.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
come on.
um. Anyway, the Miami too. Apparently, the rumors is that they're gonna make a change for Real. Apparently, it's still a thing that Real's coming in, but
I saw he
it
got his visa.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And when people start waving that around, they're like, "Oh man, like he's
yeah.
got all the legit paperwork. It might
If
happen."
if I'm Miami, specifically Trakes, I'm like, dude, what else do I have to do to show you guys like I'm worth it? Because he's been frying. But if they picked up Real, like, I just think they're just waiting for the moment where a decent reasoning to make a roster change. Getting bowed out of major three pretty quick, I think, is a good enough a reason for them to make a change. But it just sucks.
Yeah, it does. And to like I was saying before, I think the fact that some of these teams didn't make changes. I'm not talking about Optic, but like the fact that some of these others,
Phase
mainly Koi,
thieves,
yeah, Faves, they fucked up, dude.
these
Yeah,
fucked up.
mainly mainly Toronto and Miami. Those are the teams that have been rumored to change for a while. And it's all going to come down to how they do in this split in at Major Four. If they get screwed again, then I mean that's going to be it. Like, and you said if there's going to be roster lock, then they're just going to have to eat it, and that's it.
Mhm.
Which is unfortunate, but it'll be a lesson for them that they got to pull trigger and they got to make moves happen. When you're getting bad results, like you got to know when to cut the cord. Be like, you guys got one more shot, and they blow it. You can't go. All right, you got one more
Yeah,
shot.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's like, dude, enough's enough. You're a professional. You're getting paid too much. Like there's too much at stake.
Mhm,
But yeah, it's I don't know. I was surprised they didn't change, but
mhm. Well,
maybe they show up and they do well. Who knows?
the rumors before was that Koi was gonna bench Insight and bring in Nasty. That was a big rumor. And then the other rumor was Nasty was gonna join Gentlemates. I mean, this dude had a lot of options from what it sounded like. Uh, he ended up on G2, and I think with like a pretty solid team. But if Nasty went to Toronto, I think that would make them, at least on paper, like a solidified like top four team for
Yeah.
sure. Well, with Nasty on the team, but again, who knows? And even if he went to Gentlemates, who's to say that if Envoy was still there, him, ghosty, and I'm assuming the person that they would have gotten rid of was Sib. But you know, he's on a good team at this point.
Yeah, he's definitely got a better shot now.
I mean, he just
That's for
auto
sure.
qualified for champs. Dude didn't have to
Yeah,
do anything.
yeah, legit. Like, but that's his star power from what he had last year, and his potential.
Yeah. What's
And
left
for
of
his
it?
sake, yeah,
I
yeah,
guess.
right. He's got to salvage it at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we're going to be starting up since we're doing this on Thursday tomorrow. Like from where we're doing this, and you guys are going to be listening. They'll already have happened, so we'll hopefully see a lot of these teams play, which will be exciting. I know we'll be talking about it in the Discord. So for people that made it to the end of the episode, we do appreciate you making it this far. But be sure to go to the Discord and join us if you want to get on the conversation, everything Call of Duty or just gaming related. We're always talking about it. And there's going to be a ton more of MW4 news that's going to be coming out. So if we see some fugazi nonsense, be sure to bitch about us with it on the Discord. That's going to be the spot. And we'll definitely be talking about it. So, yeah, honestly, man, I think that's it though. We covered a lot. Like there was a lot of stuff that happened. Again, I'm so glad we delayed because we would have just been like, we haven't gotten anything yet. And then Thursday hits, we're like, bro.
Yeah, god damn it. Scrap that
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. But
yeah, no,
yeah,
I think we covered a lot in like this hour 15. So
yeah. So do let us know what you're all thinking about the MW4 trailer so far and just the leaks that have come out regarding, everything that we discussed, whether it's the UI, the guns, gameplay, movement, everything. Just let us know on YouTube. And while you're there, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe since we always appreciate the support there. And then be sure to go to anchor.fm, of course, /COD Casuals, since we're there on all streaming platforms. And then go to our TikTok and our Instagram. We'll go and post the shorts there and do show the support there. And give us a follow. We appreciate that, along with the 5-star review always.
Get us to play MW5.
It's the fall. Yeah.
Call of Duty, we're here. We ain't stopping.
MW4 hasn't come out. MW5 Trey.
We'll be invited.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Black Ops 8.
The Black Ops, yeah, bro.
They got us.
Black Ops 8. Yeah, bro. We're gonna have gray in the beard.
The boys got us.
Yeah, please help us out. We'd love to. But yeah, I think it does it on that note for this. But so, good everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the COD Casuals, episode number 276. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Justin.
And we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy, everybody.
See ya.